Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting review, and today we're taking a look at Moss Man from Masters of the Universe Revelation. And we have our set back here, and just take a look at the box art like we've been seeing throughout this line. Looks really impressive, the other characters that are in this line, and you can also pause and read that bio on this Moss Man if you like now. But this artwork is just awesome. And again, that bookend artwork on the side. There's a picture of him in the window. It says Moss Man, Masterverse on the top. Let's break him open and take a look at it. And here we are deep in the forest of Eternia. We have the mighty Moss Man. And we're going to be taking a look at his accessories. And the first accessory that we'll look at is his extra hands. And he comes with these grappling looking hands, only 4 fingers. And there's the back and the inside of the hand, and they're almost like branches for fingers. So that's interesting. The next set is more like open palm hand, again, like branches for fingers and a thumb there, but they're opened up, almost like they're getting ready to be extended. We'll look at that in a moment. But then he comes equipped with a staff holding or weapon holding or grabbing kind of hand. And so he could hold a weapon or a tree branch or someone else's staff there, or a sword even. And then our Moss Man comes with this really amazing looking vine reaching out, like it's beginning to extend his fingers out, branching so he could hold somebody. It's very soft plastic. He could grab somebody. These open up. We'll look at that in a moment. But just really cool feature that goes along with our Moss Man. Now these are not accessories, but just look at the feet. Kind of goes along with this whole theme and motif. Check out those feet. It's almost like he's growing right out of the ground, if you will. And so in that light, let's take a look at Moss Man's articulation. Taking a look at Moss Man's articulation, let's look at his head first here. And he is able to look up about that much. He's able to look down all the way. He's able to look side to side. And none of these figures get very much head pivot, so not very much head pivot on him either. Taking a look at his arms, he's able to go up about 90 degrees there. Rotate all the way around. Really nice shoulder joints. They're really firm and well made. He has true bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows, which gets really good range. He has hinges and swivel at the wrist, and these of course are removable so he can install the others. Look at the nice feature of this leaf and branch coming off that shoulder, and the vines throughout his body. The 3-tone look of the different greens that are used. Actually, there's about 4 different ones. Of course, this might be more of a brown in here, but just really good detail. Moving his arms out of the way, let's take a look at that diaphragm. It is a little bit hindered compared to what we saw in He-Man, just because of the molding of these branches and the thickness of this, but he's still able to turn a little bit, but he's only going to be able to crunch a little bit forward, and really he doesn't bend back any. It's just more of a set up straight kind of look there for this diaphragm. He does still swivel at the waist. His legs are really good. He's able to go just about all the way. You see that they integrated that whole Masters of the Universe looking loincloth type feature here with the belt to actually incorporate the branch look and the wood grain in the belt, and then the foliage kind of in this part that hangs down. So that's really cool. He does have swivel at the thigh, and when he does that, it does break, you know, some of that flow of that branch, like as you see there. But overall, just really nicely done as far as the theme throughout this body. And You also notice he still has double jointed knees, so he's able to go all the way like that. This is really cool. He doesn't really have a boot cut like the other figures, but he does have the ability to swivel at the feet, which is more like branches. He's able to bend those, not quite tiptoe, but bend them pretty decently there, and bend up a little bit, and then not really much of a rocker like we saw on the others. It wobbles a little bit, but it's going to be a little bit different. But with these long branches, I think you're going to be okay to stand him and pose him okay. You're just going to have to kind of, and it does rock a little bit forward as you see there. So I think we're going to be okay in posing this action figure. But overall, he just looks great. He actually looks better in hand, in my opinion, than he did in some of the early photos that I had seen of him. I thought he was going to be a little bit limited when it comes to his paint apps. And even though there is a little bit of a shine, especially you see on the camera, when you hold him in hand, it's really nice. I have seen some that are already on Masters of the Universe fan page on Facebook and even on Instagram, some that are using Mod Podge over this upper part of the body and putting some of the grass like you see back here, except this is a little big for him to kind of glue that on and almost flock his upper body and his upper head area. And I may try that if I can get a hold of another Moss Man. But of course, as you know, and we'll go ahead and enter into comparison area now, the MOTU Classics Moss Man was flocked and even had like an evergreen smell to him, to his flocked body. And so you can see the difference here already as far as these two characters. Quite a bit of difference. The Classics was basically just your common MOTU Classics buck flocked and the same type of loincloth as everybody else. So there has been some changes made to this figure, and I say it's for the better in some areas. And of course, would love to have seen that flocking. Would have been nice, definitely would have been nice, and we'll try to do that on our own. But overall, I love the color tones and the accentuations, like little branch coming out there against his arm, off his forearm here. Just areas like off the shoulder, off the side. Just the theme throughout his body, even on the back here. You just see that moss look on this part here, the back. All of these areas just come, follow true with what you would think Moss Man should look like. And obviously it's a little different if you picture this, and even the filmation was even a little bit more simplistic, but this is an excellent imagining of this character in my opinion. Great, excellent look overall. And we'll do some more comparisons, but first we'll set this Moss Man to the side here, and I want us to take a look at his accessories kind of installed here. The different hands. We'll be right back. And here is Moss Man equipped with those four-fingered grappling hands, literally here being seen grappling our Motaro with his four-fingered hands, and they're grappling each other. And so you can see the use of those hands. Really cool that they come with a variety of different kind of hands for this figure. Really cool. And here's Moss Man equipped with his open palm hands as one of our Magic the Gathering women hand him a vial of acid that came from Keldor. As you see, that open palm hand is good for that kind of thing, handing off or holding something like that in a flat palm. So that's really cool. So just having these options, of course, are always a plus. And here's our Moss Man equipped with his extending hand vine thing, and he's grabbed hold of Beast Man and has him tangled up in his vines. And Beast Man is helpless. While Beast Man can control animals with his thoughts, Moss Man can control vines, and here he is growing some right out of his appendages. So this is really cool. Check it out. And Moss Man could even do some work around Eternia, picking up some large branches, helping out around, the castle. And here's our Moss Man next to Dolph Lundgren's version of He-Man. And here is our Arnold's Conan with Tila there. So you can see how they measure up together with Moss Man. if you want to go with that variation of He-Man to go along with this Moss Man. Here's Battle Armor He-Man, the classics version with the vintage style classic head with our new Moss Man, and there's Fisto, so you see how they measure up together. Here's our new Moss Man next to Lion-O, Thundercats Lion-O and Panthro, looking great together. Also, these action figures just go good together as well. They have that animated look, and I think they look good with this Moss Man. And here's our Moss Man next to our new Revelation He-Man, and they're measuring up great together, of course. They're about the same height, so our new Moss Man looks good with the new He-Man. And one of the things we want to check is see if our Moss Man's heads look any good switched off in our comparisons here. So we're going to go back to the comparison here just right quick here and just check this out. Now remember, if you watched the He-Man one and anyone else's, you know that these are a little bit different. This Revelation ball joint is a little bigger than this one, so we'll have to heat this one up and then we'll see what it looks like on him right quick. And wow, that actually looks pretty decent. Imagine what it would look like if we did get that flocking done on his chest. We could actually use that head on there and it looks pretty good, especially with that more stoic face, calm looking face. And then it doesn't look half bad. The new Revelation head doesn't look half bad, maybe a tad small. Doesn't look half bad on the Classics body either. Looks really cool. Of course, there was another head to try, and wow, does that not look good? That's the Beastman kind of head that was flocked. That would have been Moss Man's angry face, the traditional looking face with those fangs. He looks really good. Wow, does that not look good on this new Revelation Moss Man? I think it does. So you could pull that off. We certainly appreciate you joining us today as we took a look at this Moss Man, our Revelation Moss Man. So please like, subscribe, share, comment, and we appreciate you checking out this video. Here's some photos, and come back for some more.
Mossman! Mossman!
And there's our evil seed facing off with our new Moss Man using that vintage flocked head. But boy, does it look good. They really match up good together. This would be a cool fight to see for sure. And there you have it. Really cool. Awesome. Looking great. Who knows, maybe we'll have two Moss Men. A Moss Man and his companion or something. Who knows? Teaming up against Evil Seed.